Welcome to another Blackbird Writers Presents. Today, we get to interview one of our own Blackbirds, Christine DeSmet, about her Fudge Shop mysteries and a lot of other things. Christine is a writing coach, novelist, screenwriter, short story writer, playwright, speaker workshop leader, and frequent contest judge. She taught writing at University of Wisconsin-Madison, continuing studies, for many years as a distinguished faculty associate. She directed nationally recognized programs, including the Right by the Lake Writers Workshop and Retreat and Writers Institute. She was a coach in the UW's Pathway to Publication coaching program and enjoyed watching writers become authors. She is a member of Mystery Writers of America, Sisters in Crime, Wisconsin Writers Association, Writers Guild of America East, and Blackbird Writers, Mystery Writers. She is a past Golden Heart winner and finalist 3 times in the contest sponsored by Romance Writers of America. Her romantic suspense novel, Spirit Lake, which I'm going to ask you about later, won RWA's Golden Pen Contest. She currently writes mysteries in the Fudge Shop Mystery Series and Mischief in Moonstone novella series. With writing partners Peggy Williams and Bob Schill, Christine earned first place in a Slam Dance Film Festival writing contest with a true story script about Donaldina Cameron and optioned it to New Line Cinemas once upon a time. She has optioned other projects as well and continues to write scripts and coach screenwriters and critique their material. Christine was raised on a farm in southern Wisconsin where she learned the value of joy, of hard work, and out of doors. She graduated valedictorian in a high school class of 29 students. She went on to get her 2 academic degrees in journalism from University of Wisconsin-Madison. Welcome, Christine.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I didn't realize you were going to say all that.
Well, why not? Let everybody know.
I sound like a real person who's been busy.
And it sounds like you have. Like right now, you're celebrating an anniversary, aren't you?
Yes, I am. It's this book. It's 10 years old now. Yeah, I'm just thrilled. It came out in September 10 years ago, 2013.
Wow.
So it's first degree Fudge, the Fudge Shop Mystery Series, which is set in Door County, Wisconsin. So really proud of this book. It was a lot of fun to put together and sell and work with the editors. And so I have a lot of really good memories about this book, but I'm still writing the series. So if people want to just keep on buying fudge and loving fudge in Door County, Wisconsin, and killing off people between the covers, that's what we do.
Now you have your latest book that is coming out, and you've also I think you're going in a different direction with the covers.
Yeah, my publisher came out with new covers for the last 3 books, and Undercover Fudge has one of the new covers.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and I also have Deadly Fudge Divas, which came out before that, which has a great picture of the dog on it, which I really love. It has a great picture of the dog.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Yeah,
they're beautiful.
They're very good covers, and she's working on the Christmas cover right now for the one that's coming out in November. So I've seen it. I like the cover. I can't wait till it's out, but you know, we writers were sort of impatient. We want it out yesterday, but I have to wait. It's going to be November.
Oh, it's going to be November. I love Christmas mysteries. I love holiday mysteries. I'm an addict. I read many of them, the same, books over and over again because they're
yeah, and there are many now. There are a lot of people always, I think that's a tradition. You write at least one Christmas book with your series because everybody has a Christmas book.
Or a short story or something like that to celebrate it.
It's a lot of fun.
Brings up a question. I'm going to jump here. The Mischief in Moonstone, that's a novella series. So what made you come out with a novella series? Which novellas I love? I read Rex Stout, and he's got a lot of like trilogy books that are novellas, and I love novellas. So what made you decide?
I have several in the Mischief in Moonstone series, which is set in near Superior, Wisconsin, on Lake Superior shoreline, a very small village there. Written with a lot of humor, just like my Fudge Shop Mystery Series. The first one is when Rudolph was kidnapped, a Christmas story. That's how I started the series. This series came about because I was challenged. A friend of mine said they wanted to put together some anthologies, and wouldn't I like to join them? And I said, well, I've never written short stories. And she said, well, it's time to learn. She said, you're a good writer, you know how to handle this. Let's try it. And by golly, I just love the shorter format. It worked out well. I believe I have at least 11 in that series, and my publisher is coming out with new covers for that entire series. 5 of them are out now, and they are listed at the Blackbird Writers bookshop. So if people want to, buy those, that's where you would go to find those. So I'm really pleased. And so there's 5 of them out, more coming. So it was a challenge by a writer friend, that got me going on that.
Now, do you find that readers enjoy the shorter form? That they,
oh yeah, there's a
people
lot
are
of
so
people
busy.
oh yeah, people are busy and they like something they can finish within a day or 2 days on a vacation that's easy, and they can do it in between, swimming in the lake or whatever, that kind of thing. So yeah, people do enjoy them, and I loved writing them too, because it's a shorter amount of time, obviously. It's just as hard in some ways, because you have to
Oh,
figure
yeah.
out the plot and the characters and all that, just like you do with the longer novel.
It's
Um,
almost the hardest,
yeah,
harder form to write. It's
yeah,
short.
it is. It
Now,
is.
for those who aren't, sure what a novella is, like, what's an average word count for your novellas?
Novellas would be between about 25,000 to maybe 35 to 40,000 at the very outside. They tend to settle in around 20,000, 25,000, somewhere in there, maybe 30,000. That would
So
be
if they were comparing it to one of your novels, it would be like a third.
then, yeah, the novels are 80 and 85,000, and a
Okay.
couple of mine are 90,000. Yeah.
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 And then, so just to give readers an idea of
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
that it's just like getting that bite of candy.
Yeah.
Or fudge. Now
Right.
you come up with the recipes for the fudge.
Yeah, you have to come up with the recipes, and you also have to test every recipe that's in your book. Anybody who doesn't test their recipes is irresponsible. Writers have to be responsible and know what those ingredients are, that they're safe, how the recipe is put together. But I do love doing my research. I go to every fudge shop I can, and when I'm in Door County, I go to the farmers markets there, where they always have some kind of fudge and chocolate thing going on. So I'm always there looking
fun.
for new flavors.
Now, so do you like to play around in the kitchen, and is there a different approach when you're doing this to put into a book?
No, there isn't really a different approach. You just get a messy kitchen and you go from there. And you sometimes make mistakes. So there's a lot of ingredients you waste because you're experimenting and trying things, or you find something on the internet you want to try and it doesn't work. And so there is a lot of waste. For people who want to go into this type of writing, you have to realize that all the baked goods and the ingredients are going to be on a big list that you have to spend for. And of course, you can take that off your taxes. That's part of the expense of being a writer. You can't affect that, but still, that's a little extra thing you have to do.
Now, if you find a recipe that you like, how much of it do you have to change to make it yours?
You never have to change the ingredients themselves, because those are facts. Facts aren't copyrighted. What you have to change is all the wording around it.
Okay.
Every bit of that writing has to be in your own voice and your own words. You can't copy that, because that is copyrighted by the author who presented that recipe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you get started on a fudge shop mystery?
That came about because of friends in Wisconsin in the Sisters in Crime group and other writing groups. A friend of mine said she had heard that an agent was looking for someone to write a series set in Door County about fudge or chocolate. And she actually called me, and I said, well, why would I want to do this? I'm busy already. And she said, Christine, you can do this. Call this agent and see what he wants and go from there. And, so I ended up having a phone call with John Talbot, who's my agent for the Fudge Shop series. And we just hit it off, and we had we had good goals, and I wanted to write. I knew things that he wanted in the series, and he said, let's see if we can sell it. And so that's how it got started.
Oh, wonderful. I take it that you actually like fudge.
Yeah, just a little bit,
If you
yeah,
have to make it all and taste it
right,
all, I
right.
I would hope that you would like fudge.
Yeah, well, it makes a fun thing to do on vacations, to find the fudge shops and the locales wherever you're at on vacation. And it's a fun thing to do. Let's see what flavors they have here, what flavors are popular in California or Washington or, wherever you're at. It's a lot of fun.
Does it turn out to be kind of local, what people go
It
for?
does tend to be that way. It's very interesting. The cherry stuff you would find, like I make of the Cinderella pink fairy tale fudge. You
Right.
would find that in Door County because they have the cherries there. They're one of the biggest growers in the
Oh, that's
United
true.
States. Yeah, so they have the cherries there, but you wouldn't find cherries everywhere. I don't
Right.
think you find cherries in Texas necessarily, cherry fudge. They would be more the caramel flavors and the deep spicy chocolates.
I was gonna say the hot pepper fudge or
Hot pepper fudge,
jalapeno fudge.
that's right, yeah. But we have beer fudge in Wisconsin.
Oh,
Of
do
course
you
we like to
really?
have beer fudge, yeah. But that has a short shelf life. So if people buy beer fudge, know that that needs to be eaten in a couple of days. It doesn't keep real long. Beer needs to be refrigerated a little bit.
Oh, wow, that's good advice because I did not know that. So when you're writing a series, how do you plan a series? Do you say, I think I'm going to do this many books? And I mean, you've got character arcs, you've got outside of the mystery. So how
Well,
do you
in
plan
my
a series?
case, the industry kind of helped me along with that because the industry was set in threes. Penguin Random House wanted 3 books on the contract, and then they would contract for 3 more if they wanted more, and so on. And my publishers tend to want 3. So I deal with that because I'm dealing with Penguin Random House. Now, if you're an independently published author, you can do whatever you want. You can have 2 books or you can have 12 books. I mean, it's really up to you what you want to write. So it's different for different publishers and publishing situations.
Yeah, and then, but do your books, do you always have to have an arc that goes over the 3 other than the ones that happen within the individual books?
No, you don't. And the characters are going to continue, of course, but you don't have to have big arcs. You just don't. I tend to develop arcs in mine. The Fudge Shop Mystery Series, Grandpa is changing a little bit in what his goals are because he's getting older and he has some other ideas about retirement and things of that sort. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of an arc there. And so yeah, there's an arc, but not a big thing.
Yeah. Now
You
you've
want the
got
books to stand alone.
now you've got Ava Oosterling and her grandpa Gil. And where did you come up with these characters? Since it came through like the agent, did they tell you what kind of characters they wanted, or did you?
No, not at all. All of that was up to me. And because I knew Door County so well, I knew that the Belgians were a strong influence. And I'm half Belgian, so I knew about the Belgian influence, but I didn't know a lot. So I've done a lot of research, and the characters came about because of my interest in researching about the Belgians in Door County. It's a major factor in that county. It's one of the biggest
Wow.
populations in the
I
country.
wouldn't have thought Belgian, to tell you the truth, but I did notice that in your books you do include some Belgian recipes.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's bouilla recipe in one of them. Bouilla is a soup that's, yeah, it's like stone soup where neighbors can bring ingredients, practically vegetables in the fall and the harvest festivals, and they usually add a little chicken, but otherwise it's a big vegetable stew that's made in a big pot over drums, actually big drums outdoors
Wow.
in a big fire. So it's very common in Door County. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds fun. I lost a question I was going to ask you. One of the things I was going to ask you about, because many of the locations in your books are actual locations. Do you ever run into that where like somebody's like, that sign is blue, not green? Or I'm terrified of real locations. I kind of
Yeah.
brush over them to get to the fictional
That is such a good thing to be aware of, because I haven't had that trouble, except in my first book. It was so funny. I was trying to get everything right, and I had mixed up a location. I said something was to the left and it was to the right instead. So it was in my manuscript. So I had to call the editor right away and say, I made a mistake. That direction is wrong, and everybody will know it, And so we
Yeah.
caught it in time. And those
Oh,
things
shoot.
happen. Yeah, those things happen. But no, I haven't had too many errors like that. I haven't done, I'm pretty good about that because I do travel to Door County quite a bit.
Ah,
Yeah,
lots
and
of
the last time we
pictures to
went,
refer
a
to.
road was repaved, a major thoroughfare had been repaved, and I thought, good thing we were here and saw this because I wasn't aware of that. And it's a little detail that I want to put in the books and that readers would catch.
Yeah, and then they really feel like, they're there. I think, how
Exactly.
important do you think setting is in cozy mysteries? I mean, do you think that it really needs to come into the story, like the details that you're talking about and the local foods and customs? Or
Setting is a character. It's very important. And there's been a couple of books I've read by other authors and then gone to look at the reviews, and they've gotten terrible reviews because their setting is not accurate. It's just, you have to be spot on, correct with that setting. And setting truly is a character. People love their outdoors or their local shops or whatever it is. They love their settings. They love, you have to know the types of flowers that are there because they're going to know, and they like you mentioning it. They go, oh yeah, I love those flowers. Setting is really important.
they bond with you over yes, this is about
Absolutely.
me.
Absolutely.
Um, you also delved into romantic suspense with Spirit Lake, and I must say that the description made it sound really good. Was that just testing the waters, or is that something you're ever going to go back to?
That was testing the waters. I'd love to go back to it. I have another romantic suspense manuscript sitting on my shelf that I
Ah,
tried to sell. In fact, I had an agent for it and we didn't sell it. It needs to be rewritten. I'd love to go back to it, but I don't have time. I can only do so much. And I love romantic suspense. I love those books, and it was so much fun to write that. And in fact, my manuscript that won the RWA Romance Writers of America contest one year was a romantic suspense. I love the suspense part of it. And I love romance too. So I don't know. I don't have time. I wish I could get into it. I really do. I love it.
maybe something for the future.
Yeah.
Now, you have an exciting event coming up in October for the Wisconsin Writers Association. Can you
Yes.
tell us about that?
Yes. It's their 75th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
They have been around 75 years. They're the major organization for writers in Wisconsin. It's wonderful. They asked me to be one of the speakers, and I'm just thrilled to be one of the speakers. And they asked me to be the judge in the fiction category this year. It was just marvelous to have that honor. It was a lot
Yeah.
of work. I had a lot of entries to read through, and some bought critiques, so I had to critique them as well. So it was a lot of work, but oh my, it's just wonderful. Wisconsin Writers Association is so helpful, and they offer so many things to writers, and they're there for all types of writing and all types of writers, short story, novels, every genre you can imagine. It's just a wonderful group. They're on Facebook and have newsletters that go out by email, and they're good, very good group. Yeah, we'll be in Waukesha and Brookfield. One day we'll be in Waukesha, and nearby Brookfield will be the next day. So it's going to be a really neat event.
And I know people will ask, do you have to be a member to go to the conference? And do you
No,
have
not
to
at
live in,
all. No, you don't have to be. All writers are invited to come to the conference. You don't have to belong. Yeah.
and then do you have to live in Wisconsin to join the,
No, there will be writers from all over. People who like to come to Wisconsin for a little vacation or visit relatives, they'll go to the conference as well. And so, yeah, we're expecting people from all across the country. Yeah.
oh, that's wonderful. Now, what's next for you?
Oh, what's next for me? More books. I'm trying to get more of the Mischief in Moonstone series out. And I'm working on a new series. And just yesterday, I am deciding to sign with a new agent
Oh,
for that
wow.
series. I have a different agent for that new series. I can't talk about the series, but
Oh, I was
just
just going to ask.
yesterday, yeah, just yesterday, it will be another cozy mystery series.
Oh,
And,
how fun.
yeah, and it's set in Wisconsin.
Oh, wonderful. And that means that people need to know where they can find you and follow you and get the information. So if you want to tell us how people can
Yeah,
keep up with your
yeah.
news.
I have a newsletter going out. I have a monthly newsletter, and they can go to my website, christinedesmet.com, and there they can catch me with my email address, or they can sign up for the newsletter. They'll find all my books. And they can also find me through the Blackbird Writers group, where I also belong. So it's christinedesmet.com or blackbirdwriters.com.
Wonderful. Well, I really look forward to seeing what your new series is going to be.
And me too. I have to write it all yet.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again. And you can find this interview if you're watching it. You're already at blackbirdwriters.com. And we thank you, Christine.
Thank you. Thank you so much.